The emotional power behind Lucy's performances. What made Lucy Thomas different from many other young singers was not simply her vocal ability, but the emotional intelligence hidden behind every lyric she delivered. During her time on The Voice Kids UK, audiences quickly realized they were witnessing someone with unusual maturity. Lucy approached songs as stories rather than performances. She did not rely on dramatic gestures or vocal tricks to impress people. Instead, she focused on emotional truth. Her performances carried restraint, sensitivity, and quiet vulnerability. When she entered the battle rounds and performed Bring Me to Life with her teammates, viewers expected powerful theatrics. Yet Lucy stood apart by allowing emotion to lead instead of volume. Her control over delicate transitions and soft phrasing made her memorable in ways louder singers often were not. Coaches praised her discipline and professionalism backstage. Producers later described her as humble, polite, and intensely focused on improving herself. Danny Jones, who became her mentor during the competition, often referred to her as an old soul. He noticed her habit of arriving early to rehearsals with notebooks filled with comments about breathing, tone, and phrasing. Lucy treated every rehearsal like a classroom. By the semi-final stage, she had become one of the competition's most talked-about contestants. Her stripped-down performance of Wolves demonstrated vulnerability rarely seen on television talent shows. Even though she did not reach the final, audiences felt they had witnessed something extraordinary. Her elimination shocked many viewers who believed she had already won in spirit. Returning home after sudden national fame. When the television cameras stopped filming, Lucy Thomas returned to her hometown carrying a life that no longer felt ordinary. Before The Voice Kids UK, she had been a regular schoolgirl balancing homework, family life, and music practice. After the show aired, everything changed almost overnight. Teachers congratulated her in school corridors. Strangers recognized her in public places. Her social media accounts became flooded with praise, admiration, and endless expectations. Thousands of people suddenly believed they knew her. For a teenager still learning who she was, the pressure became emotionally overwhelming. Her mother, Diana Thomas, worked tirelessly to protect her daughter from the darker side of public attention. She carefully monitored online comments, managed interview requests, and tried to preserve some sense of normal teenage life for Lucy. Yet fame has a strange way of invading even quiet spaces. Fans expected constant updates, performances, and appearances. Some praised her humility, while others criticized her for stepping away from television after achieving national recognition. Lucy later admitted that living up to the image people created around her became more difficult than performing on stage itself. She feared disappointing audiences who had placed impossible expectations upon her. Instead of chasing more reality shows or commercial opportunities, Lucy chose to retreat from the spotlight. To many outsiders, it appeared she had vanished. In reality, she was trying to rediscover balance and protect the part of herself that fame threatened to consume. Those months away from public attention quietly became one of the most important periods of her entire life, finding safety in family and private creativity. During the difficult months after her television breakthrough, Lucy Thomas found comfort not in fame or industry success, but in the quiet support of her family. While the world debated her future online, Lucy spent evenings at home singing with her sister Martha in their living room. Those moments became a refuge from public pressure. Martha did not see Lucy as a television personality or rising celebrity. She simply saw her sister. Together, they harmonized late into the night, rediscovering the joy of singing without expectations attached to it. Lucy later described those evenings as healing because they reminded her why she loved music in the first place. Away from cameras and audiences, she also began writing private lyrics in journals. These writings explored fear, loneliness, identity, and resilience. She never intended for most of them to become public songs. They existed purely as emotional release. Through writing, Lucy slowly rebuilt confidence that had been shaken by intense public scrutiny. At the same time, she continued developing her technical abilities with discipline far beyond her age. She studied music theory, practiced vocal exercises, and learned methods to protect her voice from strain. Rather than rushing toward commercial fame, she chose personal growth. That decision frustrated some fans who wanted constant performances and public appearances. Yet the silence surrounding Lucy during this period was not emptiness. it was preparation. While many former talent show contestants faded quickly after television exposure, Lucy was quietly building the emotional maturity and artistic foundation needed for a lasting career rather than a temporary moment of popularity. Building a career without chasing celebrity culture. By 2019, Lucy Thomas was no longer appearing regularly on television, but her relationship with music had become stronger than ever. Instead of returning to talent competitions or signing restrictive commercial contracts, she pursued a more independent path. Her mother contacted Cavendish Records, a smaller British label known for supporting classical crossover artists. The label recognized Lucy's rare sincerity immediately and offered her a deal focused on artistic freedom rather than manufactured celebrity branding. This became a defining turning point in her career. Lucy's debut album, Premiere, introduced audiences to a young artist determined to remain authentic. The project featured emotional interpretations of beloved classics such as Somewhere, Time to Say Goodbye, and Reflection. Critics were surprised by the maturity of her phrasing and emotional delivery. Rather than trying to sound older or more dramatic, Lucy embraced simplicity and restraint. Reviews praised her honesty, with some writers noting that her voice reached for emotional truth instead of vocal power. Although the album received limited mainstream promotion, it quietly entered the UK classical charts and sold thousands of copies. More importantly, it gave Lucy confidence that she could succeed without sacrificing her identity. She became fascinated by the technical side of music production, spending hours learning about microphones, harmonies, mixing, and recording techniques. This curiosity distinguished her from many young singers who relied solely on natural talent. Lucy approached music as both emotional expression and disciplined craft. Every recording session became an opportunity to learn, improve, and deepen her understanding of the art she loved. The pandemic years and the rise of an online audience, vocal struggles, and the fear of losing everything. As Lucy Thomas continued recording and releasing music, the demands on her voice became increasingly intense. By the time she began work on her third album, Timeless, she had spent years singing with remarkable discipline and emotional intensity. To audiences, her performances still sounded effortless. Yet behind the scenes, Lucy was beginning to experience vocal fatigue that frightened her deeply. Long recording sessions, repeated takes, and constant pressure to maintain perfection had started affecting her physically. Her throat often ached after hours of singing, and some notes that once felt natural became harder to sustain comfortably. Despite these warning signs, Lucy kept working because she feared disappointing the people who believed in her. Timeless, released in 2021, reflected a more introspective emotional tone. Songs such as The Way We Were and I Will Always Love You carried a sense of maturity and quiet sadness that listeners immediately noticed. Critics praised the emotional depth within the album, describing her voice as wiser and more vulnerable than before. Few people realized that the emotional heaviness present in those recordings mirrored Lucy's private fears about her future. For someone whose identity had become so closely connected to singing, the possibility of damaging her voice felt terrifying. She had spent years proving that her success was not accidental, and stepping away even temporarily seemed impossible. Yet this difficult period forced Lucy to confront an important truth. If she wanted a lasting career, she needed to protect not only her voice, but also her mental and emotional health. That realization would ultimately reshape her relationship with music forever. Using music to inspire healing and emotional strength. As Lucy Thomas matured, her understanding of success changed dramatically. Fame no longer represented the center of her ambitions. Instead, she became increasingly focused on using music as a source of comfort and healing for others. Having personally experienced anxiety, pressure, and fear under public scrutiny, Lucy developed deep empathy for young people facing emotional struggles. Alongside her sister Martha, she became involved in initiatives supporting teenagers dealing with bullying, mental health challenges, and low self-esteem. Through workshops and public conversations, Lucy shared parts of her own journey to remind students that setbacks and fear do not define a person's future. Her message consistently emphasized resilience, patience, and emotional honesty. Fans around the world connected strongly with this authenticity. Online communities dedicated to her music appeared in multiple countries, translating lyrics into various languages and organizing listening events celebrating her albums. What made Lucy unique in the modern entertainment world was her refusal to chase controversy or manufactured publicity. She built her audience slowly through trust, sincerity, and emotional connection. Even as her popularity grew internationally, she continued living quietly in Wigan near her family. Her social media posts remained simple and personal, often written by Lucy herself, rather than marketing teams. She regularly thanked listeners directly and spoke openly about gratitude. In an era dominated by constant self-promotion and viral attention, Lucy's calm approach felt refreshing. Many fans admired her not only because of her voice, but because she seemed genuinely kind and emotionally grounded. Her music became more than entertainment. For many listeners, it became a source of peace during difficult moments in their own lives. The lasting legacy of a girl who chose peace over fame. Lucy Thomas's journey stands as a rare story in modern entertainment because it challenges the belief that success must always come through relentless visibility and constant public attention. From the moment she first stunned Britain with Moon River, many expected her to pursue celebrity culture aggressively, appearing endlessly on television, attending glamorous events, and chasing mainstream fame. Instead, Lucy chose something far more difficult. She chose balance, privacy, and emotional honesty. She stepped away when the pressure became overwhelming, even though doing so risked disappointing audiences and losing momentum. That decision may have confused some people at the time, but it ultimately protected both her voice and her sense of self. Rather than burning brightly for a brief moment before fading away, Lucy quietly evolved into a mature artist with lasting emotional impact. Her story reminds people that growth often happens in silence. Behind every beautiful performance existed years of discipline, fear, recovery, and self-discovery invisible to the public eye. By refusing to let fame control her identity, Lucy preserved the sincerity that first moved audiences back in 2018. Today, she represents something increasingly rare in the music industry: authenticity without arrogance. Whether performing in theaters, recording emotional ballads, or simply singing beside her sister at home, Lucy continues to inspire listeners through honesty rather than spectacle. The trembling 13-year-old who once stood nervously beneath television lights did not disappear after all. She simply grew stronger away from the noise, eventually returning not as a manufactured star, but as an artist entirely comfortable in her own voice, her own truth, and her own quiet strength.